Hi, welcome to African Time. My name is Vidashi and this is Vidashi Studios. Well, we are going to discuss Africa's top banks in the year 2024 and some interesting rankings about how they are actually doing in the year 2024. I want you to get ready for more African studies and African Time. Are you ready for that? Fine. Now, see this. So it was shared by the African Narratives talking about this. They says top 20 banks in Africa in 2024. Yep, we are going to do the top 20 banks in Africa by the year 2024. Well, see this. It says South Africa's Standard Bank Group has consistently ranked as Africa's leading bank, with the National Bank of Egypt holding the second spot for the last 4 years, according to African Business Magazine by Tier 1 Capital in USD. Okay, so this is some introduction to the whole point. Okay, they are saying that South Africa's Standard Bank Group has been leading the Africa's top banks in Africa for the past 4 years, and then number two have always been Egypt's bank, that is the National Bank of Egypt, holding that spot for the second, for being number 2 for the fourth year too. So these two banks are doing marvelously, and it says that according to African Business Magazine by Tier 1 in USD, let's see the list. So number 1 on the list is Standard Bank Group, that is South African, having about 13 billion USD. Number 2 is National Bank of Egypt, having about $77 billion. Number 3 is Atajarifa Bank of Morocco, having about $6 billion. Number 4 is Absa Bank, another South African bank, having about $5 billion. And at number 5, we have Banco Central Populaire, that is from Morocco, with $5 billion. So top 5 banks are leading banks in Africa right now. South Africa had 2 banks, and then Egypt had 1, Morocco had 2. That is impressive. Okay, let's continue. So at number 6, we have another bank from Egypt called Banco Misr. That is Egypt with a $5 billion profit in the year 2024. Number 7 is another South African bank called the First Rand, that is South Africa, have also about $5 billion. Number 8 is Nedbank, South Africa again having $5 billion too. Number 9 is Banco Estero de Algeria, that is $4 billion. And then at number 10 again is Morocco Bank of Africa, that is BMCE Group, with a profit of about $3 billion. So the top 10 banks in Africa right now had, 3 South African banks, 2 Egyptian banks, 1 Algerian bank, and then 3 Morocco banks. So Northern Africans and Southern Africa are doing well this year. Morocco, Algeria, and Egypt were top 10, having the top 10 banks in Africa. Then South Africa had a leading bank and also well-performing banks too, also doing the magic for the Southern Africans. Mind you, the top 10, there's no Western Africa, no Eastern Africa in there, and no Central Africa too. Let's continue with the top 11. Now, top 11 is Banco National de Algeria, that is Algeria, with $3 billion. Number 12 is Invest Bank, South Africa, with $2 billion. Number 13 is Arab African International Bank, Egypt, with $2 billion. Number 14 is Commercial International Bank, Egypt, that is also. And then number 15, we have FBN Holdings, Nigeria, with $2 billion. Okay, so top 15 too, we had 1 Algeria, 2 Egypt, 1 South Africa, and then 1 Nigeria. Now, number 16, we have Access Bank, Nigeria. Number 17, we have Zenith Bank, Nigeria. Number 18, we have Credit Populaire de Algeria, that is Algeria. Number 19, we have QNB Al Ali, Egypt, with $2 billion. And at number 20, we have United Bank of Africa. Okay, so for the top 11 to 20, Nigeria had 4 banks, South Africa had 1, Egypt had 3, and then Algeria had 1. That is your Algeria had 2. That's the top 11 to 20 banks in Africa. Okay, so Nigerians were topping from 15, 16, then 17, and then number 20. That's beautiful. Now at number 21 to 30, we can say we have number 21 is Capitec Bank, South Africa. 22 is EcoBank Transitional Incorporated in Togo. Number 23 is Equity Bank Group in Kenya. Number 24 is Mauritius Commercial Bank, that is Mauritius. Number 25 is Kenya, that is KCB Group of Kenya. Number 26 is Societe Generale Moroccan de Banquiers, that is a Moroccan bank. Number 27 is Guarantee Trust Bank, Nigeria. 28 is Commercial Bank of Egypt, that is Ethiopia, Commercial Bank of Ethiopia, that is number 28. Number 29 is Credit Agricole du Maroc, that is Morocco. And then number 30 is Bank of Africa Group, Senegal, with $917 million. Now, Morocco, there's something fascinating about the Moroccan banks. The top 30 See this? So the total top 30 banks or top performing banks in Africa in the year 2024, South Africa had 6 banks, Egypt had 5, Morocco had 5, Nigeria had 5, Algeria had 3, Kenya had 2, Togo had 1, Mauritius had 1, Ethiopia had 1, and then Senegal having 1 in the top 2024 banks in Africa. That is impressive. Now, I know some of you will be asking the questions like, wow, what are the criteria for them to get to know these banks, or what actually inspired them or aspired them to have these records or findings? Okay, so they say banks are ranked on a tier 1 capital, which includes shareholders, equity, and retained earnings, converted into US dollars using the exchange rates at the time of their latest financial results. This methodology accounts for fluctuations in currency values which can impact year-on-year's rankings. Okay, so now you know. These are the reasons on how come they actually came about to have Africa's top 30 performing banks. And you can see that South Africa had 6, Egypt had 5, Morocco had 5, Algeria had 5, Nigeria had 5. So the top banks in Africa, top 30, the Northern Africans had 15 out of it, and South Africa had 6. So making it 21. The rest is Nigeria having 5, and then Mauritius, Kenya, Ethiopia, and then Togo sharing the 1-1 here. That is impressive. That is really impressive. So this is some beautiful findings that we are actually ending the year with. Here is with Ashes Studios. We discuss everything in Africa. So this one came in and says, South Africa, Egypt, Morocco, and Nigeria have the biggest banks. I wonder if these banks easily communicate with one another, such as interbank transactions. Well, my brother, we hope so too. We hope like something like that is happening. I really wish it is like that, so that you can actually travel to every part of the country or every part of the continent, and then you can actually bank with your bank if they are actually present there, or if they are not, you can actually still bank there. That is a dream for Africa though. Well, this one says Standard Bank is one of the biggest banks and has a great policy all over Africa. Well, that is so true though. Standard Bank is one of the beautiful ones we have in Africa. Funny, I don't know if you guys have noticed it, but if you're watching my video, the ads that I mostly played is the Standard Bank. I don't know why though, but I think these guys are actually doing great with me though. That's nice. This one also says the Standard Bank Group must be a massive bank. Leading with such an amount of 4 consecutive years is remarkable. Yes, Standard Bank is Africa's #1 bank though. Africans love that bank, and I'm planning on going there too because it's actually fascinating. I've done a lot of videos concerning these African banks. That is most valuable banks in Africa 2024. We have top performing banks in Africa 2024. We have most assets banks in 2024, and I've done all those contents already in my previous episode. You can just check it out in 2024 and know all the rankings that happens in Africa in the year 2024. That is what I do here. The names without share say this was African time. Hopefully you enjoyed this, and I got more chance for us to meet and discuss Africa in the year 2025. Don't forget this. I'm always here to talk about Africa. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and then subscribe to this channel. And let's have more time for Africa. See you guys around.